All right, we're back with a special edition. We are joined by our special guest, Liam Horne, vocalist, songwriter, all the way from Scotland, now a Southern California resident. Welcome, Liam.
Thank you.
So, when the first time you visited California, what was that experience like? You see the palm trees and the beach down the way, and the girls in the convertibles, and the hills. What was your thoughts?
It was very surreal, there's footage of me as a very young child, explaining and very excitedly how much I want to come to America. So when I finally got to make that trip, it was so mind blowing and just such a culture shock too for me to be over here. Britain and America is such a huge change in culture alone. So it was something I wasn't used to or hadn't ever seen. So it was just all around exciting. And I was, like I said, I think 12, really, when I was out here for the first time and was able to explore, go to beaches, do everything. And it was just breathtaking. It was amazing.
Yeah, I know. I love the UK, and Scotland is beautiful country, but it tends to get cooler. It is definitely,
Re-
rainy over in the UK, and it's a beautiful country because of that rich rain and the greenery and all that. But over here we are definitely spoiled. Yes, it can get a little warm, but it never gets that cold. So you never shoveling snow or using an umbrella very often out here in California.
Mhm. And if you are, there's probably something wrong. I mean, what was it not a couple years ago? It did snow in Hollywood or something like that. I think.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about it. So now you've been writing from an early age. I know your parents always had music around. Your mom's a great singer. You know, when you first started hearing music you liked, who were the who were the number one songwriters you looked up to? Did you recognize at that age, when you're liking a song or an artist, that they're actually writing their own material, or did that come much later?
I always knew. I mean, it was always kind of just. I what I didn't know is that a lot of these artists weren't writing their own material. That's what I did not know. But that's nowadays. Back when I'm 5 up to 10, even even some of the great, even most a lot of artists now too. Uh, Everyone was writing their own music. Every classic band and every rock band wrote their own songs, and I just thought that that was how it went. I thought, you have a bunch of people together, they get in a room. I didn't know big studios existed or any of that. I thought, they get in a room, write a song. You know, I remember being very young and writing poems and writing things, and uh, I was fortunate to learn to write very, very young. So I've always had a pen in my hand and a pencil.
Yeah, we grew up with this kind of innocent purity quality that, hey, if they're singing a song, they must have wrote it. It's got to be their song, you know. And then we realized later, like, well, not actually. And some people, including Elvis, one of the greatest entertainers of all time, famously didn't write his songs, But they were, all the publishers and writers were certainly lined up to get him to cover the song. So, there's something said for the writer and something said for the interpreter, that performer. But when it can be both, you got a Paul McCartney, or, the Beatles, or, Elton John, or, these guys that write and sing their own songs. I mean, it's a whole nother level of respect.
And that goes back to collaborating. You know, it's music. We're not meant to hoard it. We're meant to share it. You're meant to collaborate with other artists, musicians you love. And that goes with everything, not just with music, just with life. If you like doing something and you meet somebody else who likes doing something and you like how they do it, why not do it together so you can do it better too? And for me, I love my songwriting. Like I'm me, so I write my songs for me, and I love the songs that I write, but I have songs that I haven't even touched the pen on because I've just loved that songwriter's music. And when they played me the song, I've been like, oh, I love this song. I want to sing it, you know? Thank you for letting me sing your song. And that's just being able to drop your ego and do it for the love of music and not just to have your name on a song or just to say you wrote this by yourself. I don't believe anyone gets anything or does anything or goes anywhere by themselves.
Yeah, of course. Even somebody as prolific as a Prince or Michael Jackson, you can tell they have strong influences and artists they love, and they draw from that well, when they come to write and they come to perform.
Yeah.
But they have such a work ethic that you see them writing, writing. Prince had to build Paisley Park out there in Minneapolis because he wanted to, write and record whenever he wanted. He didn't want to have to book time or be told the studio's booked or the studio's closed or we can't find an engineer. No, he wanted it 24/7, and sometimes he would stay in that room for 2 or 3 days to fully realize what was in his head.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And sometimes, as an artist, you're very lucky to even get that free time. A lot of these artists out here, especially in LA, are working 9 to 5s just to spend 2 hours on their music when they get home with the money they make. It's very inspiring to be out here, but it's hard, very hard. And I'm very lucky to have made some good moves in music at a young age to make money off of music. Making money off of music is such a blessing, so I can spend more time on music. It's very hard to be a new artist out here and have to juggle rent, life, jobs, and trying to make a music career. And doing it yourself with no team. That means logging onto your SoundCloud, logging onto your Spotify, having an artist account, uploading your own music, making your own distro kit. Like it's. I'm very blessed to have a team and people who care and to be able to do the things I do because it's not the case with a lot of artists who are still doing an amazing job with what they have.
Yeah, no, I feel for anybody that's got to work a job just to pay their rent, and then they come home and they maybe got 10% of their energy left for really what they want to be doing. That's a terrible thing to, try and overcome. A lot of them don't have a choice. You can't be homeless and make music. So, you gotta have a place to live and food.
Well,
But
well, you could actually, who knows? You might be homeless and all you have is your guitar and a tent. And if you just keep playing and keep getting out on that street every day and keep playing, we're in Hollywood, we're in Los Angeles. Someone might walk past you and you might get taken to a studio.
no,
You know,
I mean technically it is possible,
yeah,
but physically, it's gonna come at night and steal your guitar when you're sleeping on the street. But
never
you
do
know,
that.
tell us about your latest music, because I know All on Me is your latest single, of course, produced by your friend Rich Skills. And this one is special because it's written with Robin Thicke, along with Rich and yourself. Talk about, I know Rich was excited to get you in, with Robin and see what could come of it. Talk about All of Me and what's the story behind the song?
So Rich is I've been with Rich management wise. Rich is my manager. I've been with him 10 years next month. We have a long history of working together. He had me when I was super young working with him. So uh, I met Robin through Rich at a very young age. Robin and Rich are very, very close friends. They're like brothers, they do a lot, they have a lot of songs together and you know, they're just really amazing people. And I have a lot of other stuff Robin's been involved with. This is just the first thing we decided to drop. I have songs with Robin. I have other songs coming up that Robin's helped write on. Um, Rich is my partner though. That's like my big brother. He's my right hand. We do everything together. All of the music we do together. He produces and we write together. But he's an incredible producer. And I was a huge fan of him from the get go when I met him, and always just wanted to work with him, And when we finally did, we were like, oh, we could maybe do something with this. And we decided from that day, okay, let's make a management, and artist relationship. And 10 years later, he has done amazing things for me, including introduced me to one of my biggest idols, Robin Thicke. And luckily, Robin's been amazing enough to help me write and work on some music. And that's exactly how it came around. And All of Me is one of those songs. But yeah, it just released on all platforms, including my Instagram and social medias and Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere. So it's out there with him.
Yeah, well, the song sounds great. Congratulations on it. I know, Robin has been in the business for a number of years now, and he brought his experience, and Rich brought his. So, two great partners. And of course, I know you have other songs like "Loose" and "Bartender" out there, and you're constantly writing. What's your inspiration every day when you get up to try and create some more magic?
It's well, I'm always inspired. I I more so it depends on when it comes to this is how much do you want it? I want it a lot. I think about music every single day, and making it every single day is not a challenge to me. So I know what I want and I work for it. And I'm also aware that if I don't work for it, it's not going to come. The life that I want making music is not going to come for me if I just sit and wait for it to come. That alone gets me up out of bed and gets me to any session or any rehearsal or any stage that I need to be on. And I love doing it. So it's not even a challenge. It's more I live, sleep, and dream music, and I listen to a lot of artists. So there's constantly inspiration around me to pull from. There's some incredible female artists out too, like SZA. And then Sam Smith is an amazing singer. The Weeknd's killing it. Chris Blair. There's a lot of amazing artists. Kid Leroy is one. He's a young new artist who's just there's constant reminders around. Hey, if you don't do it, someone else will.
Yeah, it really is, and I know there's such a history, of pop and soul music, but it's all about coming up with new energy. You can obviously cover a song from the past, but as for the publishing world and what you're trying to build, it really matters. If you've got a stake in it and you've got some credit on it, if not, your song, or you control it. And I know that you're constantly out there learning, from others, and I think that's the most important thing. I say, every day, as an artist, you should be learning to grow your knowledge, your connections, your experience, and your momentum. If that's in your heart every day, um, you don't need to act desperate. You just need to be dedicated to your craft. And I always say that when you look at some of the greatest living songwriters of all time, like a Smokey Robinson or a Paul McCartney or a Elton John, they're still working on their songwriting craft. They could be, deep 70s or 80 years old, and they still have that feeling like one of my best songs is yet to come. And if I don't work at it, it's not coming. And if I just rest on my laurels, then I just become an oldies, act. And it's amazing to see them still writing new music.
Of course, you can't stop, especially if you love it. I mean, you can't stop. No one's gonna force you to put a guitar in your hand and write. But if you love it, why stop? Keep it going, especially if for me, music puts me like I don't naturally get up and go out to bars. I don't drink alcohol. I don't go out to do things. I meet a lot of people at my shows. Like my shows are one of my favorite things to do because I love meeting new people who come to hear my music. And after the show, getting off stage and interacting with people. I think too many of us rely on computers and social medias and doing this, and not a lot of us will go out places and interact with each other, and socialize. And it's a sad thing, but music for me definitely helps me do that. And I think not only music, if anything helps get you out into the world and be with other human beings, why not do it for as long as you can? You've got a good 80 years plus, if that, on this earth. So, I want to spend as long as I can because nothing's guaranteed. I don't know how long my brain will work for. So as long as I can write, I'm going to be. and as long as I can sing, I'm gonna be, Johnny Cash is another great who just sang and sings until, like all these people just they didn't stop. And
Yeah, Willie Nelson. I mean, these guys are, 90 years old and they're still writing songs and still going out there. Willie did that big 90th birthday at the Hollywood Bowl right up the street from us. And, it was a who's who. I mean, you saw members of the Rolling Stones and Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young. And I mean, everybody came out because they love Willie, they love his spirit, and they love the fact that, a songwriter never stops.
yeah, yeah. I actually just recently performed opening up for Robbie Krieger from the Doors, and you know, just seeing these men on stage who've been up there for 30 plus years, like longer than I've been alive, is like, and still having the same energy and drive and crushing it and destroying most young artists now is very inspiring, very amazing, and like, how could you, as a musician, look at that and not want to do the same thing? And the only way to
Where
do
was
that,
that performance? Where did you perform with Robbie at?
I did that at Sagebrush Cantina here in Calabasas, which
Okay.
actually when I perform. I have a residency with Sagebrush where I perform there the last Wednesday of every single month. And this October, Robbie Krieger is coming back to do a big show there at Sagebrush Cantina. And I'm actually on the main stage opening up for him on the main stage. But what's amazing about this show is he's coming back to do an album that they've never played before, and it's all their greatest hits. And they're going to be bringing out a lot of amazing people. I can't say too many names, but they're going to be bringing out a lot of collaborations they've done over the years to perform on the stage with them. And that's going to be my biggest performance yet too, and that's in October. You can find more about that on my social media when I post about it on Instagram and Twitter, I guess, and all that. I'll have it up and all the information up. But as of now, I'm performing at Sagebrush every single month, and I also have a lot of upcoming shows down in Hollywood and everything. But to find that, it's all on my Instagram. That's just Liam Horne, my name.
Well, we'll plan to be there cheering you on. Robbie's a good friend, and we can't wait to see those generations come together. Our special guest is the one and only Liam Horne, and you know him as the songwriter of not only Out of Town Girl, covered by Justin Bieber, but the new single All on Me, co-written with the great Robin Thicke and Rich Skills, and so many more songs. Go to all his social media, Liam Horne on Instagram and Facebook, and his websites, Spotify. Liam, it's been a real pleasure. Look forward to following up with you and charting your course and seeing you grow. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful time. Thanks again for the opportunity.